Hey guys, and welcome to another McHUGH Media broadcast. Today we're going to be talking about giants in our ancient past, and we're also going to be talking about some structures on Mars, the face on Mars, if you've ever heard about that. Now, yesterday I posted on a social network site a video that I had watched about ancient giants, and I got a couple of clowns posting back on my page that it was bullshit basically, and that they don't exist and it's just a myth. These are clowns, by the way. You're always going to get your clowns. These are the uneducated people in society that we just have to grin and bear with. They obviously haven't read a book in their lives, and they're sheep basically. Anyway, rant over. The video I posted was from a guy called Jim Vieira, okay, and he's done extensive research in this field in America, all over the world, but particularly America. And he was intrigued when he first came along, skeletons that were in excess of 7, 8, sometimes 9 feet big. This just blew him away, so it compelled him to open up every single avenue in regards to this topic. And he discovered thousands upon thousands upon thousands of records, written historical records, newspaper clippings, books, and plus he spoke to a lot of other professional people in this field. So we can conclude that it's 100% that we had a gigantic people in our past. Now, how far back in the past, we don't know, but it was certainly more than 4,000 to 5,000 years ago, as some records will have us believe. This guy believes it could be hundreds of thousands of years ago, possibly even up to 1 million. But anyway, that's to be decided yet. The proof about that's yet to come out, and we'll be able to elaborate on that as it goes. Again, this guy's name is Jim Vieira. He's done some absolutely brilliant work. Now, we've always been intrigued by the stories and the legends of giants, particularly Irish here, because I'm broadcasting here from Ireland, and then we have our Scottish and English giants. The Scottish giants were always revered as being bloodthirsty barbarians, very boastful. Now, we had two sets of giants, ones that lived up in the highlands that would have lived in caves and mountains and places like that there, and then we had the lowland giants, and these two factions of giants would have always been fighting for territory. So Scotland is steeped in history in regards to giants, and then we have our own famous giant over here in Northern Ireland, Finn McCool, of course, the Giant's Causeway. Now, people think that these are just stories and myths, but the more they dig and the more the scientists dig into this, the more we realise that they're not myths at all. Now, there's been quite a lot of books. I'll just name a couple of here. There's one, The Ancient Giants, The Ones Who Ruled America, and that's by Richard J. Dewhurst, okay? Now, it's very well worth Googling this guy if you're interested in any of this at all. I mean, if you want to know why there was giants in their past, and the skeletons have been found, the remains have been found, all the memorabilia, all their writings, everything have all been found, but it's just been washed away, hidden. Why? Another cover up again. The powers that be in this world do not want the people to be educated beyond 1, 2, 3 and ABC, and it's as simple as that. They keep these things hidden from us, as always, and that's why I'm going to be talking about Mars in the second segment of this broadcast. Now, another good guy, The Giant Sons of Gods, and that's by Douglas Van Born. Yes, another brilliant book. Another good guy to Google as well. He's got videos on YouTube as well you can watch about this topic. And then, of course, the guy that I mentioned, Jim Vieira, he's done some absolutely brilliant research on this. Now, I'm just going to show you some pics, guys, and I'll talk you through some of them, and we can get cracking on with the rest of the broadcast. Near the junction of the Hart and Missouri rivers is an old cemetery of fully 100 acres and extended, filled with bones of giant races, Scientific American and Tradition of Giants of 1883. Now, we can see here some pictures now. There's some really big ones there. These are taken from a scale of authentic human skeletal remains that have been found and scientifically documented. There's one under the sea there. I'm sure there's plenty more where they come from. This was a man and a woman. They were the biggest people in human history to date. There's another big guy there from an African tribe. Now, this dates back to Egyptian antiquity. They were always depicted as giants the hieroglyphs and stuff like that there. So I mean, it has been fully documented throughout antiquity and in our history as well. Now there's the Nephilim Chronicles is another very, very good book if you want to Google that one, guys, and that'll you know, I suggest you read that one and get it up and running. So the face on Mars, in 1976 on July 25th, there was a probe sent to Mars, Viking 1, Viking 2 I believe, and they took photographs of an area called the Cydonia region of Mars. Now it's the Cydonia Plateau, it's flatland. It was an area of interest for the scientists. Now the photographs that were sent back, transmitted from Viking 1, Viking 2 back to Earth, were astounding, and scientists were baffled by a gigantic face that they could see clearly. Now I'm going to run you through some pictures shortly. Now also around this face, around the whole area, we're talking up to 2 to 3 miles in vicinity of the area, were also pyramid structures. And the pyramids are aligned to Orion's belt, and then there's other smaller structures that can be construed as a small town, or if you like, a small city. Now these pictures came straight out onto the media platform, papers, the daily news and what have you. And immediately, just like everything else that the media does, the next day they were retracted and people were told, no, it was a trick of the light, or it was the sand dunes, or whatever it was. Now 20 years later, Viking 1 sent back to Earth more pictures which were analysed, and this time the pictures were an absolute mess. It was just a mound, it just looked like a mound full of sand, and again, it was put straight back into the media platform again, the newspapers and the local daily news in America, all over Europe, that this is what it was. It was just a structure of nature. It wasn't a man-made thing, and this is what the real pictures are. Disregard the last pictures, the real clear pictures that clearly show you that it's a face and clearly show you that there's structures and pyramids. Disregard that. These are the new and improved pictures, and these are the pictures that we're going to go by, and these are the pictures that we're going to tell you now, and that's it. Forget about it. There's no face on Mars. There was never a civilization on Mars. This information again. Now, the reason why I've mentioned the face on Mars and the pyramids on Mars and giants in our antiquity here on Earth is because these are two topics that are close to my heart, because they could almost fall into the category of being just legends. And this is what people believe, and this is what people are made to believe. The giants, we can tell you now, are not legends. The skeletons have been found, the remains have been found, and just like on Mars, the photographs have been taken. Now, there's a big rush to get to space now over the past 2 decades, and they're telling us that they're sending in the deep space Voyagers and they're infrared telescopes, and they're telling us that they're just looking for asteroids, and they're looking for other habitable planets and stuff like that there. But we know that they've been sending back to Mars probes, and this time they're not going to tell the public anything about the pictures. God knows what they're doing. They could already be on Mars for all we know. But this is just a couple of little things I wanted to point on today, guys. Now I'm going to run through a few pics here, and let you see what you think of these. So again, guys, there's the face on Mars. This is the original authentic picture that was taken in 1976. There you have another view of it there. Now I know I'm just flying through these pictures, guys, because these are widely available on the internet. There's the actual face then. You can see not far from it, one of the major pyramids of Mars. Now we have another collection of pictures here where you can sort of see them group of structures, and they're covered up with sand. Now this is the picture NASA tried to say, oh, this is the new picture we've taken, it's just nothing but a mound full of sand. You'll see another image coming up very shortly as well. It's a black and white image of the same structure that they are trying to say. I mean, it's absolutely been desecrated and destroyed. The images have been destroyed by NASA. Okay guys, so that concludes today's media broadcast. McHugh Media, of course, keeping the people informed, telling you what they don't want you to hear. Tune back in again tomorrow, and have a nice day, and thank you for joining me.